My neighbor is a secret agent who just took me hostage. It was late at night. The kind of night where the entire street felt abandoned. No cars. No voices. Just the low hum of distant electricity. And the sound of your own breathing. And I never expected it to end like this. The man standing in front of her was the same man who had smiled at her over the fence 3 days ago. The same man who had borrowed her lawnmower. The same man who had said, "Thanks, I'll return it by evening," Daniel had said casually that day. Though his hand was wrapped tightly around her wrist. Though unyielding. And the other hand held a gun. Not just any gun. A suppressed pistol. Pressed directly against her chest. Right above her heartbeat. Anna's breath hitched. "Don't scream," Daniel said quietly. His voice was different. Lower. Control. Not a trace of the easygoing neighbor she thought she knew. "I'm not going to hurt you," he added. But the way he said it didn't feel like comfort. It felt like a warning. Anna swallowed. Her voice came out softer than she expected. "What is this?" Daniel didn't answer immediately. Instead, he stepped closer. Too close. His body heat wrapped around her like something dangerous. Something alive. "You weren't supposed to see that," Daniel finally said. Anna's mind raced. The image flashed again. The window. The light. The moment she shouldn't have looked. But she did. And now she was here. Pinned between him and his front door. Her back pressed against the wood. His hand still gripping her wrist. "You had cameras," Anna whispered. Her voice trembled. "In your basement screens files." Daniel's jaw tightened. Just slightly. But she saw it. That tiny crack in his control. "And you came inside," he said. Not a question. A statement. Anna shook her head quickly. "I didn't mean to. I thought you weren't home." The gun pressed harder. Not enough to hurt. But enough to silence her. "I know exactly what you thought," Daniel said. His eyes locked onto hers. They're sure. Observing everything. The way her chest rose. The way her lips parted. The way fear sat right under her skin. And something else. Something he didn't expect. Anna felt it. That shift. That daze. And somehow it made her stomach twist. Not just from fear. But something far more confusing. "You've been watching me," she said slowly. The realization hit her all at once. Every moment. Every accidental glance over the fence. Every time she felt seen. It wasn't random. It was him. Daniel exhaled quietly. Not denying it. Not confirming it either. Just standing there. Close enough for her to feel his breath. "You were part of the operation," he said. Anna froze. "What?" "I didn't plan it," Daniel added. His voice dropped even lower. "But you made it difficult to ignore." Her pulse quickened. "Though, Eric." He noticed. Of course he did. His gaze flickered to her throat. To the rapid movement beneath her skin. Then back to her eyes. "You shouldn't have come inside," Daniel said. This time, there was something else in his voice. Regret. Or something dangerously close to it. Anna's fingers curled slightly. Trying to pull free. He didn't let go. Instead, he stepped even closer. Now there was no space left. If I let you walk away," Daniel said slowly, "they'll come for you." Anna's breath caught. Daniel's grip tightened. Just slightly. "People who don't hesitate," he said. "And they won't ask questions like I do." The silence fell between them. "Louis. Anna's voice dropped to a whisper. "Then let me go." For a moment. Just a moment. Daniel looked at her like he might. Like he was considering it. Like he wanted to. But then, his expression hardened again. And everything shifted. "No," Daniel said. The word landed heavy. "Final." Anna's heart slammed against her ribs. "What?" she asked. Her voice barely held together. Daniel leaned in, close enough that his lips were near her ear. His breath warm, dangerously steady. "Because," he murmured, "you're the only mistake I can't afford to lose." Anna froze. Every nerve in her body lit up. There, confusion, something darker, something pulling her deeper instead of pushing her away. And before she could react, before she could think, the door behind her opened. Daniel pulled her inside. Fast, silent. The lock clicked. And just like that, the world outside disappeared. The night went still. And Anna realized something terrifying. She wasn't just in danger anymore. She was inside it. The door shut with a soft click. Too soft. That was the first thing Anna noticed. Not the gun. Not his grip. Not even the fact that she was now inside a stranger's house. It was the silence. Heavy. Control. Like this place was built to swallow sound. Daniel didn't let go of her immediately. His hand still held her wrist. Firm. Unquestionable. "Walk," he said quietly. Anna hesitated. Just for a second. That was enough. Daniel's grip tightened slightly. Not painful, but enough to remind her. He was in control. "I said walk," Daniel repeated. Anna nodded quickly. "I'm walking," she said under her breath. Her voice was steady, but her pulse wasn't. He guided her forward. Through the foyer. The scent hit her instantly. Sandalwood. Musk. Clean, but something darker underneath. Something sharp. Metallic. Her eyes flicked around. Everything looked normal. Perfect, even. Minimal furniture. Clean lines. Nothing out of place. Nothing that screamed danger. Which somehow made it worse. "You planned this," Anna said softly. Daniel didn't respond. They moved deeper inside. The lights were dim. Golden. Warm enough to feel safe. Cold enough to feel wrong. "You built this house like a mask," she continued, her voice gaining just a little strength. "A normal life, normal routines." Daniel finally spoke. "That's the job," he said. Anna let out a small breath. "So what are you?" she asked. He stopped walking. Suddenly, Anna nearly bumped into him. He turned. So deliberate. Now they were face to face again. Closer than before. Too close. "You don't need that answer," Daniel said. His eyes searched hers. Carefully. Like he was measuring something. Deciding something. Anna held his gaze. Even though everything inside her screamed not to. "I think I do," she said quietly. A flicker of something passed through his expression. Amusement. Or maybe interest. "You're not acting like a hostage," Daniel said. Anna let out a shaky breath. "Maybe I haven't processed it yet," she replied. That almost made him smile. "Almost? Then?" His hand moved. Fast. Anna flinched. But instead of grabbing her, he brushed something from her cheek. A small, invisible speck. His fingers lingered. Just for a second too long. Both of them felt it. That shift. That dangerous, quiet shift. Anna's breath caught. Daniel noticed. Of course he did. His gaze dropped. To her lips. Then back up. And something in the air changed. Thicker. Warmer. More dangerous than the gun. "Don't," Anna said softly. She didn't even know what she meant. "Don't touch me. Don't look at me like that. Don't make this worse." Daniel leaned back slightly, creating just enough distance to breathe again. But not enough to feel safe. "We're going downstairs," he said. His voice was back to control. But not completely. Something lingered. Anna's stomach dropped. "The basement?" she asked. Daniel didn't answer. That was answer enough. He turned. Started walking again. This time, Anna followed without resistance. Her mind raced. Every step felt heavier. The hallway grew darker, the air cooler. And then she saw it. A door, different from the rest, reinforced, subtle, but unmistakable. Daniel reached for it. Thus, just for a second. Anna noticed. Daniel, she said softly. He didn't look at her. If I go down there, she continued, I don't come back the same, do I? Silence. Low. Uncomfortable. Honest. Then. No, Daniel said quietly. Her chest tightened. He opened the door. A soft mechanical click. Lights flickered on below. Go. Do. Nothing like the warmth upstairs. Move, he said. But this time, his voice wasn't just command. There was something else in it. Tension. Maybe even restraint. Anna stepped forward. Slowly. Each step down the stairs echoed softly. The deeper she went, the more the air changed. Colder. Sharper. Real. And then she reached the bottom and saw everything. Screens. Dozens of them. Flickering with footage. Mass. Data. Surveillance feeds. And in the center, a chair. Not just any chair. Design. Position. Intentional. Anna's breath hitched. You do interrogations here, she whispered. Daniel stepped down behind her. Close again. Always close. Yes, he said. Anna turned slowly, her heart pounding. And now, she asked. Her voice barely held together. Am I your interrogation? Daniel looked at her. Really looked this time. No mask. No distance. Just raw focus. You're something I didn't plan for, he said. His voice dropped. Lower. Rougher. And that makes you dangerous. Anna swallowed. And what do you do with dangerous things? She asked. He stepped closer, closing the gap completely. Then, his hand lifted. Slow this time. Deliberate. He didn't grab her. Didn't restrain her. Just tilted her chin up slightly, forcing her to meet his eyes. His thumb brushed lightly near her lip. Barely there, but enough to send a sharp pulse through her. I can tame them, Daniel said quietly. The word lingered. Very possessive. Anna's breath trembled. You think you can control me? She asked. There was a challenge in her voice now. So. But real. Daniel's eyes darkened slightly. I know I can, he replied. The storm outside broke suddenly. Thunder cracked. The violin. The lights flickered. For a split second, darkness swallowed the room. And in that moment, Anna felt his hand tighten. Not on her wrist, but around her waist, pulling her closer. Instinct. Or something else. The lights came back. But neither of them moved away. Not immediately. Anna's heart raced. Her body too aware of his. Too close. Too warm. Too dangerous. You should be more afraid, Daniel said softly. But the way he said it didn't sound like a threat. It sounded like a warning. To himself. Anna looked up at him. Her voice barely above a whisper. Maybe I am, she said. A bee? Then. Just not in the way you expect. Silence. The electric. And in that moment, something shifted. Not just between them, but inside him. Daniel stepped back suddenly, breaking it. Breaking whatever that was. He turned away, ran a hand through his hair. Control. But barely. This changes things, he muttered. Anna watched him carefully. What things? She asked. He didn't turn. But his answer came. Though. Certain. Now I can't let you go. The storm didn't ease. If anything, it grew louder. Rain slammed against the windows above. Wind howled through the edges of the house. And down in the basement, Everything felt sealed. Then off. Like the world outside didn't exist anymore. Anna stood still, watching him. Daniel hadn't turned back yet. His shoulders were tense. Vetted. Like something inside him was calculating faster than she could understand. You said I'm a liability, Anna said carefully. Her voice echoed softly in the room. What does that actually mean? Daniel exhaled slowly, still facing away. It means, he said, someone else already knows you exist. Anna's stomach dropped. What? She whispered. He turned then. His expression was different now. Sharper. Focused. Back to the man with the gun. Those cameras you saw, Daniel continued. They weren't just for surveillance. Anna's mind raced. They're connected to something bigger, she asked. Yes, Daniel said. Symbol. Deriv. Terrifying. A beat passed. Then another. And if they saw me? Anna asked quietly. Daniel held her gaze. They did? The words hit harder than anything so far. Not the gun. Not the basement. This man. You dragged me in here because of them, Anna said. Her voice cracked slightly. You didn't save me, you just made sure I don't leave. Daniel stepped closer. Not aggressive, but intentional. That's the same thing tonight, he said. Anna shook her head. No, it's not, she replied. But even as she said it, doubt crept in. Because a small part of her knew. If he hadn't pulled her inside, she would still be out there. Exposed. Unaware. Vulnerable. A sudden sound cut through everything. Sure. Though. Above them. Both of them froze. Another sound. A dull thud. From the main floor. Anna's breath stopped. What was that? She whispered. Daniel didn't answer. He was already moving. Fast. Silent. He reached for the table. Picked up a second weapon. Checked it in one smooth motion. Then looked at her. Really looked this time. No hesitation. No softness. Stay here, Daniel said. Anna stepped back instinctively. No, she said immediately. Too fast. Too real. He paused. Just for a second. Up there is not safe, he said. And down here is, she shot back. Another thud. Closer this time. Something heavy. Grabbing. Anna's pulse spiked. I'm not staying alone, she said. Her voice steadier now. Determined. Daniel watched her. Measuring again. Always measuring. Then, he made a decision. Fine, he said. One word. Sure. Final. Stay behind me, he added. Anna nodded quickly. He moved toward the stairs. She followed. Close. Closer than before. Not because he forced her, but because she chose to. Each step up felt heavier. The sounds grew clearer. Footsteps. Muted. Careful. Not random. Not a mistake. Someone was inside the house. Anna's fingers curled slightly. Without thinking, she reached for the back of his shirt. Just lightly. Just enough to hold onto something real. Daniel felt it. Of course he did. He didn't pull away. Didn't acknowledge it either. But his pace slowed just slightly. Adjusting for her. They reached the top. The hallway was dark now. The warm lights from before. Done. Only flashes of lightning lit the space. Sure. Wait. Dial on it. Daniel raised his hand slightly. A signal? So. Anna froze behind him. Her breath shallow. The air felt different. Occupy. Watch. Then. Shadow moved. Across the far wall. Anna's heart slammed. Daniel reacted instantly. He stepped forward. Pulled her with him. And pressed her against the wall beside him. Close. Too close. His arm came around her. Not rough. But firm. Holding her in place. Keeping her hidden. His body shielded hers completely. Anna could feel everything. The tension in him. The controlled breathing. The heat of his chest against her shoulder. Her pulse went wild. Not just from fear. Something else. Something that made no sense right now. The shadow moved again. Closer. A figure. The arm. Not Daniel. Definitely not Daniel. Anna's fingers tightened in his shirt. He leaned closer to her ear. His voice barely a whisper. "Don't move," Daniel said. His breath brushed her skin. "Warm." "Say." "Rounding." Anna nodded slightly. Even though he couldn't see it. The figure stepped further into the hallway. Standing. Searching. Slow. Precise. Daniel's grip on her tightened. Not painfully. Protectively. His hand shifted slightly at her waist. Holding her still. Holding her close. Like letting go wasn't an option anymore. The lightning flashed again. For a split second. The intruder's face was visible. Cold. Focused. Professional. Anna sucked in a quiet breath. Daniel felt it. His hand moved. Gently. Covering her mouth. Not harsh. Not forceful. Just enough. "Quiet," he whispered. She stilled instantly. The intruder paused. Head tilting slightly. Listening. Anna's heart pounded so loudly she was sure it would give them away. Daniel leaned closer. His forehead almost touching hers now. Shielding. Blocking. Protecting. "You're okay," he murmured. So soft it barely existed. Anna's eyes flicked up to his. And for a moment, everything else disappeared. The danger. The storm. The man in the hallway. All of it. Because the way he was looking at her now wasn't like before. It wasn't calculated. It wasn't control. It was something else. Something raw. Something dangerously close to. The intruder moved again. Closer. Too close. Daniel's entire body tensed. Decision made. In a single second. He leaned into her ear. "This is going to get loud," he whispered. Then he let go. Sipped out. And everything exploded. Everything happened too fast. 1 second. Silence. The next. Violence. Daniel moved like a switch had flipped. Cold. Precise. Deadly. The moment he stepped out. The intruder turned. Then raised. But Daniel was faster. A sharp crack echoed through the hallway. Not loud. Muted. Suppressed. But still violent enough to shake the air. Anna flinched. Her back hit the wall. Her breath caught in her throat. The intruder staggered. But didn't fall. He fired back. A flash. A dull pop. The bullet hit the wall. Too close. Way too close. Down, Daniel snapped. Anna dropped instantly. Her hands trembling. Her mind struggling to keep up. Daniel moved again. Closing the distance. Fast. Relentless. The gun was no longer the focus. Now it was physical. Oh. The two men collided. Horror. A heavy thud echoed through the space. Fizz. Elbows. Controlled brutality. And watch. Frozen. Because this version of Daniel was nothing like the man next door. There was no hesitation in him. No softness. Every movement was efficient. Purposeful. Like he'd done this 100 times before. The intruder swung. Daniel blocked. Countered. Drove him into the wall. A sickening crack followed. The intruder grunted. Still fighting. Still dangerous. Stayed down, Daniel ordered sharply. Anna didn't move. Couldn't move. Her eyes locked on him. On the way he moved. On the way he handled danger like it was second nature. And something inside her twisted. Fear. Yeah. But not just fear. Something deeper. something she didn't want to name. The fight escalated. The intruder reached for something. A knife. Anna's heart stopped. "Daniel," she shouted. He reacted instantly. Too late to block, but not too late to adjust. The blade slashed, cutting across his arm. A sharp line. "Gar. Real." Anna gasped. Daniel didn't. He grabbed the man's wrist. Whistle. A rap. A knife dropped. Then it ended. Wave. Brutal. Final. The intruder hit the floor. Unmoving. Silence followed. Heavy. Broken only by the storm outside. Anna stayed where she was, breathing hard, shaking. Daniel stood still for a moment, looking down at the body. Then he turned. His gaze went straight to her. "Sure. Claire?" Stammering. "Are you hurt?" Daniel asked. His voice had changed again. Still intense, but different. Focused on her now. Anna shook her head quickly. "I am okay," she said. Her voice wasn't steady. Not even close. He walked toward her. Fast. Closing the distance in seconds. His hands reached her shoulders. Firm. Chevin. Rounding. "You're sure?" he asked again. Closer now. His face inches from hers. Anna nodded. "Yes," she whispered. Only then did he exhale. So. Control. But not completely. Her eyes dropped. To his arm. The brush. Dark against his skin. "You're bleeding," Anna said softly. He glanced down briefly. Like it didn't matter. "It's nothing," Daniel replied. But she shook her head immediately. "No, it's not," she insisted. Something shifted again. Not fear this time. Instinct. She reached for him. Carefully. Her fingers hovering near the cut. "Sit," she said. He didn't move. She looked up at him. More steady now. "I'm not asking," Anna added quietly. A small pause. Then, to her surprise, Daniel listened. He said, slowly, still watching her, still calculating, but not stopping her. Anna moved closer. Too close again. But different now. She grabbed a cloth from nearby. Hands still slightly trembling. "Hold still," she murmured. Her voice softer now. Focused. She pressed the cloth gently against the wound. Daniel didn't flinch, but his jaw tightened slightly. Anna noticed. "You feel that," she said quietly. He looked at her. Something unreadable in his eyes. "I feel everything," Daniel replied. The way he said it didn't just mean pain. Anna swallowed. Her fingers steadied, pressing more carefully now. More aware of him. Of how close they were. Of the heat between them. The storm cracked again. The lights flickered. Instinctively, Anna leaned closer. Just slightly. Her shoulder brushing his chest. Neither of them pulled away. "Not this time. You could have left me outside," she said softly. Her eyes still on his arm. "You didn't?" Daniel didn't answer immediately. His gaze stayed on her. Watching. Studying. Then, "I don't leave things unfinished," he said. Anna looked up. Their faces were close again. Too close. Her breath slowed. "So that's what I am?" she asked. Something unfinished. A long silence followed. The loaded. Daniel's hand moved. Slow. Deliberate. Not to push her away, but to tilt her chin up again. Like before. Only this time. Suffer. Less force. More awareness. "You're a complication," Daniel said quietly. His voice lower now. Rougher. "And I don't like complications." Anna held his gaze. Didn't look away. "Then why haven't you let me go?" she asked. Another pause. But this one felt different. Because this time, He didn't have a clean answer. His thumb brushed lightly against her jaw. A slow, absent movement. Like he wasn't even thinking about it. Or maybe thinking too much. Because if I do, Daniel said, you won't survive what's coming next. The words settled between them. Really? Real? Anna's heart skipped. What's coming? She asked. Daniel's expression hardened again. Back to that edge. That danger. That was just the first one, he said. Anna's breath caught. Her grip on the cloth tightened slightly. How many more? She whispered. Daniel held her gaze. Say. Certain. Enough to turn this house into a war zone. Silence. Then. A faint sound. Outside. Different this time. Not thunder. Not wind. Engines. More than one. Both of them heard it. Both of them knew. Anna looked toward the door. Then back at him. Fear returned. Sure. Real. They're here, she said. Daniel stood up instantly. All softness gone again. All hesitation erased. But this time, when he looked at her, there was something else mixed in. Something protective. Something dangerous in a completely different way. Stay close to me, Daniel said. Though. Commanding. Final. Anna nodded. No hesitation now. Because outside. The real threat had just arrived. The engines didn't stop. They idled outside. Low. Threatening. Like predators circling. Anna stood near the center of the hallway. Her chest rising and falling too fast. Daniel moved past her. Already in motion. Already adapting. He reached the front window. Pulled the curtain just enough. A quick glance. Then he let it fall. His jaw tightened. How many? Anna asked. Her voice barely steady. 4, Daniel replied. Maybe 5. Anna's stomach dropped. That's not good, she whispered. No, Daniel said. It's not. He turned toward her. And in that moment, everything about him shifted again. Not just a fighter. Not just control. No. Strategic. Focused. Dead serious. We move, Daniel said. Anna blinked. Move where? She asked. He stepped closer. Closing the distance quickly. Safer position, he said. There's no safe position, she replied. He held her gaze. There's better than this. A loud bang echoed outside. Car door. Then another. Voices. Muffled. Closing in. Anna's breath hitched. They're coming in, she said. Daniel didn't respond. He reached for her instead. His hand finding her wrist. Firm. Worm. Rounding. Stay with me, he said. Anna nodded instantly. No hesitation left now. Because whatever this was, she was already in it. Daniel moved. Fast. Pulling her with him. Through the hallway. Past the kitchen. Toward the back of the house. Every step felt louder now. Every movement sharper. The storm masked some of it. But not everything. A crash sounded behind them. The front door. Forced open. Anna flinched hard. Daniel didn't stop. Keep moving, he said. Go. Control. They reached a narrow corridor. Then. The wall suddenly too close. Anna stumbled slightly. Daniel's grip tightened instantly. Steadying her. Pulling her closer. Careful, he murmured. His voice right near her ear. Too close. Too intimate for the chaos around them. But neither of them pulled away. They couldn't. There was no space. Not physically. Not anymore. Footsteps echoed behind them. Inside the house now. More than one. Searching. Spreading out. They're splitting up, Anna whispered. Daniel nodded slightly. They're trained, he said. Stay quiet. They reached a door. He opened it quickly. Pulled her inside. and shut it behind them. Darkness swallowed the room. Only faint light from outside filtered in, barely enough to see. Anna's breath came fast, her body reacting before her mind could, because the space was small, too small, and Daniel was right there, in front of her, close enough that she could feel his breath, his chest, the heat of him, every inch. His hand moved, sliding to her waist. Not slow, not deliberate. Instinct. Positioning. Pulling her into the shadowed corner. Their bodies pressed together. Locked in place. "Don't move," Daniel whispered, his voice low, right against her ear. Anna nodded faintly, her hands instinctively finding his shirt again. Holding on. Not thinking. Just reacting. Footsteps passed outside. Closer. The buzz. Right outside the door. Anna froze completely, her fingers tightening in his shirt, her heart slamming so loud it felt dangerous. Daniel's grip on her waist tightened, holding her still, keeping her anchored. His other hand moved, resting lightly against her back. Say. Firm. Protective. The doorknob shifted slightly. Just a test. Anna's breath caught. Daniel leaned closer, his forehead almost brushing hers now, his voice barely air. "Breathe slow," he whispered. She tried. God, she tried. But the way he was holding her, the way their bodies were pressed together, it made everything worse. Her senses were overloaded. Fear, adrenaline, and something else. Something that made no sense here. The handle moved again. A little harder this time. Left. A buzz. Then footsteps moved away. So reluctant. But gone. Anna let out a shaky breath. Too loud. Daniel reacted instantly. His hand slid up, covering her mouth again. Gentle. But firm. Not yet, he murmured, his lips so close to her ear. She felt the words more than heard them. Another few seconds passed. Hilly. Tense. Then silence. Real silence. Daniel slowly lowered his hand, but didn't move away. Not immediately. Neither did she. They stayed like that, pressed together, breathing the same air. Anna became aware of everything again. The heat of his body, the strength in the way he held her, the way his hand was still at her waist, not letting go. Not yet. Her fingers were still gripping his shirt. She didn't release it. Didn't want to. A small shift, and her face brushed his. Just slightly. Barely. But enough. Both of them still. The tension changed. Not gone. Just different. He didn't move away. Neither did she. Daniel, Anna whispered. So uncertain. Dangerous in a different way. His hand tightened slightly at her waist. A reaction. Instinctive. Like he felt it too. Not now, he said. But his voice wasn't as steady as before. Anna noticed. Of course she did. Because she felt it too. The shift. The crack in control. Another sound outside. Closer again. Reality snapped back. Daniel pulled away first. Fast. Like he had to. Like staying any longer would be a mistake. We move again, he said. Back to control. Back to distance. Even if it didn't feel real anymore. Anna nodded. But something had changed. Something irreversible. Because now, she didn't just feel like his hostage. She felt like something else entirely. And that was far more dangerous. They moved again. Fast. Careful. Up the narrow staircase at the end of the hall. Each step creaked. Too loud. Too exposed. Anna stayed right behind him. Close enough that her hand kept brushing his back. Not intentional. But not avoided either. Below them. Voices. Closer now. Is I searching? They're clearing the ground floor, Daniel whispered. His voice low. Control. Anna nodded. Even though he couldn't see it. Her chest still hadn't calmed down. Not from the danger. Not from him. They reached the top. A small landing. 3 doors. All closed. Daniel paused. Listening. Calculating. Anna watched him. The way his eyes moved. The way his body stayed ready. Like a weapon that never powered down. Which one? She whispered. He pointed. Last room. They moved. With silent. He opened the door. Pulled her in. Closed it behind them. Another small space. A bedroom. There. Minimal. Just enough shadows to hide in. Daniel moved immediately. Checking corners. Windows. Exit points. Always thinking ahead. Anna stayed near the door. Her back against it. Trying to breathe. Trying to think. But something inside her snapped. Not fear. Not panic. Frustration. Confusion. Everything hitting at once. This is insane, Anna said. Her voice sharper now. Too loud for the situation. Daniel turned instantly. Lower your voice, he said. Firm. Control. But she shook her head. No, she replied. Quieter. But stronger. This is insane. Me? You dragged me into this. Daniel held her gaze. Unmoving. I'm keeping you alive, he said. Anna let out a breath. Almost a laugh. But not quite. By holding me hostage, she asked. There it was. The word. Really? Real? It lingered between them. Daniel's jaw tightened slightly. I didn't have a choice, he said. Anna pushed off the door. Stepping closer. Not afraid now. Or maybe. Afraid in a different way. You always have a choice, she said. Her voice lower now. More control. But you chose this. Daniel didn't answer. And that said enough. Anna's chest tightened. Because that silence. It meant something. Something she wasn't ready to understand. Footsteps echoed below. Louder. Closer. Time was running out. But the tension between them didn't stop. Evru. You lied to me, Anna said. Softer now. But deeper. Every conversation. Every smile. Was any of it real? Daniel looked at her. Really looked this time. Not scanning. Not assessing. Just looking. A long silence followed. Yes, he said quietly. Anna blinked. Caught off guard. What? She asked. I didn't fake everything, Daniel said. His voice lower now. Rover. Anna searched his face. Trying to find the lie. But she couldn't, and that made it worse. Because now she didn't know what to believe. Another sound. Closer. On the stairs now. Both of them heard it. Both of them knew. They didn't have time for this. Daniel moved first. Crossing the room quickly. Grabbing her wrist again. Pulling her toward the far corner. Behind a partial wall. A narrow blind spot. Stay here, he whispered. Anna pulled back. Just slightly. Not enough to break free. But enough to resist. I'm not just going to stand here, she said. He turned to her. Close again. Too close? You don't have a choice, Daniel replied. Same words. Then, something in her snapped. Stop saying that, Anna said. Her voice sharp now. Frustrated. Henry, I'm not one of your missions. The words hit harder than she expected. Daniel stilled. For a second. Just a second. Something flickered in his expression. Something real. But it was gone just as fast. Footsteps reached the top of the stairs. Time was up. Daniel stepped in again. Closer than before. backing her into the wall, trapping her, but not roughly, not violently. Control. Precise. His hand smooth, pinning her wrists above her head. Firm. Effortless. Anna gasped. Not from pain. From the suddenness. From the proximity. From him. Listen to me, Daniel said. Though intense. Right in front of her. You move when I say. You stay quiet when I say. Because if you don't. He leaned in closer, his voice dropping further. You won't make it out of this house. Anna's breath came fast, her chest rising against his, their bodies almost fully pressed together now, her wrists still held above her head. His grip strong, unyielding, but not hurting her, never hurting her. Her eyes locked onto his, anger still there, but something else too, something dangerous. You think I'm scared of you? She whispered. Daniel didn't answer immediately. His gaze dropped, just for a second, to her lips, then back to her eyes. You should be, he said. But his voice didn't match the words. Anna noticed. Of course she did. Because she felt it too. That shift. That tension. That line. Blurring again. The footsteps outside the room pause. Right outside the door. Both of them heard it. Neither of them moved. Not yet. Because right now, the danger inside the room felt just as intense. Anna's voice dropped. Barely there. Then why aren't I? She asked. A long silence followed. The Yui. Daniel didn't move away. Didn't loosen his grip. But something in his eyes changed. Rev. Just slightly. Because she was right. And he knew it. The handle started to turn. Reality snapped back instantly. Daniel released her wrists. But not fully. His hand slid down, grabbing her waist instead, pulling her sharply against him. Their bodies flush, hidden behind the wall. The door creaked open. Footsteps entered. Slow. Careful. Searching. Anna's heart slammed against her chest. She pressed into him. Not by force this time. By instinct. By choice. Daniel's arm tightened around her, holding her there, shielding her, containing her. His breath brushed her hair. Say. Control. Like hers. The footsteps moved closer. Closer. Too close. Anna's fingers curled into his shirt again, gripping tightly, her body reacting before her mind could stop it. Daniel didn't pull away. Didn't correct it. He just held her tighter. Like it made sense. Like she belonged there. The intruder stepped closer. Right on the other side of the wall. A single step away. Anna stopped breathing. Completely. Daniel leaned down slightly, his lips near her ear. Stay with me, he whispered. So. That firm. And this time, it didn't sound like an order. It sounded like something else. Something deeper. Something far more dangerous. The intruder paused. Listening. Thinking. Then, he moved away. Slowly. The footsteps faded. The door closed again. Silence returned. But neither of them moved. Not immediately. Because now, the space between them didn't exist anymore. Anna exhaled slowly, her forehead resting lightly against his chest, her body still pressed to his. She didn't step back. Didn't want to. Daniel's hand remained at her waist. Firm. Bounding. His other hand still near her wrist. Not pinning anymore. Just there. A quiet moment passed. Really? Different. Anna spoke first. So. Barely above a whisper. I should hate you, she said. Daniel's jaw tightened. He didn't disagree. But he didn't agree either. Because the truth was already standing between them. closer than either of them should allow, and neither of them was stepping away. The silence didn't last long. It never did. Not in a house like this. Not in a night like this. Anna slowly stepped back. Just a little. Just enough to break the contact. Her body instantly felt the absence. The cold air replacing him. It shouldn't matter. But it did. Too much. Daniel noticed. Of course he did. He noticed everything. But he didn't reach for her again. Not immediately. Clear, he said quietly. Back to that tone. Professional. Control. Like the last few minutes hadn't happened. Anna nodded. But something inside her resisted that shift. That sudden distance. Because she still felt it. The heat. The tension. The almost. And it didn't just disappear. Not that easily. We can't stay here, Daniel said. Already moving again. Checking the hallway through the crack in the door. They'll sweep upstairs again. Anna watched him. Her thoughts racing now. Not just about the danger. About him. About what this was turning into. And that scared her more. Because this wasn't just survival anymore. This was something else. Something she didn't understand. Something she shouldn't want. Daniel turned back to her. We go out the back, he said. There's a secondary exit. Anna hesitated. Just for a second. Then she nodded. But her mind was already somewhere else. They stepped out into the hallway again. Quiet. Chervo. The storm still raged outside. Wind howling. Rain hitting the windows hard. Terror. And chaos. Perfect conditions. They moved toward the stairs. Daniel first. Anna right behind him. Again. That same formation. That same closeness. But now. It felt different. More charged. More aware. Halfway down. A sound. From the kitchen. Voices. Close. Too close. Daniel stopped instantly. Anna almost walked into him. Her hands catching his back. Staying there. Neither of them moved for a second. Listening. Calculating. They're still here, Anna whispered. Daniel nodded slightly. Change of plan, he said. His voice barely there. We go through the side corridor. Anna nodded. But something in her shifted. A thought. A dangerous one. If they were distracted. If Daniel was focused on them. She could run. She could get out. This was her chance. Her only chance. Her heart started racing again. But not from fear this time. From decision. From rebellion. Daniel started moving again. So. Control. Anna followed. Step by step. But her focus was no longer just on survival. It was on timing. Distance. Opportunity. They reached the bottom. Turned into the side corridor. Narrow. Dim. The exit door visible at the far end. Just a few meters away. So close. Too close. Daniel paused. Listening again. Checking. His attention split. And that? Was it? Anna moved. Fast. Pulling her wrist free. Breaking away. Running. Straight toward the door. Anna, Daniel's voice snapped. Sure. Me did. But she didn't stop. Her hand reached the handle. Twisted it. The door flew open. Cold rain slammed into her. Wind hitting her face. Freedom. Right there. One more step. That's all it would take. But she didn't make it. Because he caught her. Fast. Too fast. His hand wrapped around her arm. Yanked her back hard. The door slammed shut behind them. The sound echoing. Too loud. Anna gasped. Her back hitting the wall. Daniel stepped in. Close. Too close. His grip still on her arm. Firm. Unyielding. Are you insane? He said. Furious, controlled anger. The kind that didn't need volume. Anna's chest rose rapidly. Her breath uneven. I had to try, she shot back, her voice shaking. But not weak. I'm not staying here with you. The words landed. Joey. Sure. For a second. Something flickered in his expression. Something darker. More personal. But it hardened instantly. You step out there alone, Daniel said, his voice dropping even lower. You're dead in minutes. Anna shook her head. I don't care, she said. But her voice didn't fully believe it. Daniel noticed. Of course he did. He stepped closer, closing the gap completely. Don't lie, he said. Anna swallowed, her back pressed flat against the wall. Nowhere to go. His body caging her in. Not touching fully, but close enough that she felt the heat again. The tension snapped back instantly. Stronger this time. Because now, it wasn't just survival. It was personal. I don't trust you, Anna said. Quieter now. But it hit harder. Daniel held her gaze. Didn't look away. You don't have to, he replied. Obey? But you will listen. Anna's breath caught slightly. Because of how he said it. Not as an order. Not entirely. Something deeper underneath. Something that pulled at her. Even when she resisted. You don't get to control me, she whispered. Daniel's jaw tightened. And then he moved. One hand braced against the wall beside her head. The other still on her arm. Trapping her completely now. No space left. No distance. Just him. You ran, he said. Those. His voice brushing her skin. Anna's heart pounded. I will run again, she replied. Even softer. Even more dangerous. A long pause followed. Joey. Charged. Then Daniel leaned in. Closer. Too close. His face inches from hers now. Their breaths mixing. Worm. Unstay. You won't get far, he murmured. Anna's lips parted slightly. Her breath catching. Her mind screaming at her. But her body was listening. Then stop me, she whispered. The words slipped out. Without permission. Without logic. A mistake. Or maybe something else entirely. Daniel froze for half a second. Just half. Because that changed everything. His grip tightened slightly. Not hurting. Just holding. His gaze dropped. Then to her lips. Then back up. So measured. Dangerous. The space between them. Gone now. Completely. Anna felt it. That pull. That shift. That line. Breaking. Not blurring anymore. Breaking. Her breath slowed. Without her realizing. Waiting. For something. For him. Daniel leaned in. Just slightly. Enough that she felt it. The almost. The edge. The point of no return. And then a loud crash echoed from the kitchen. Voices shouting. Closer. Reality snapped back violently. Daniel pulled away instantly. Like he had to. Like staying there another second would have been a mistake he couldn't undo. Move, he said. Back to control. Back to distance. But it didn't feel the same anymore. Nothing did. Anna nodded. But her chest still felt tight. Not from fear. From what almost happened. From what she almost wanted. And that terrified her. More than anything else tonight. The next morning felt wrong. Anna woke up before her alarm. No dreams. No warmth. Just a strange, hollow quiet sitting heavy in her chest. She stared at the ceiling for a long moment. Something had shifted. And she knew exactly when. Last night. That almost kiss. That look in James' eyes. That confession without words. She got ready slower than usual, her mind replaying everything on loop. The way his voice had dropped. The way he had leaned in. The way he had stopped. Not because he didn't want to, but because he shouldn't. That hurt more than anything. When she stepped out of her apartment, her eyes instinctively flicked toward his door. Goes. Silent. Go. She exhaled slowly and walked past it. Good, she whispered to herself. This is good. Distance. That's what she needed. Except. By evening. She was standing outside his door. Then. Her hand hovered over the bell. Her heart racing. This is a bad idea. She knew it. She still rang it. The door opened almost immediately. Like he had been standing there. Waiting. James looked different. Tired. Dense. Like he hadn't slept. His eyes locked onto hers, and for a second, just a second, everything from last night came rushing back. Unfinished. Unspoken. Dangerous. Anna. Her name sounded rough in his voice. She swallowed. The silence. The heavy electric. You shouldn't be here, he said finally. Not harsh. Not angry. Just strained. Anna let out a soft breath. Yeah, I figured you'd say that. Then why are you here? Because I couldn't stay away. Because I've been thinking about you all day. Because I want you to finish what you started. She didn't say any of that. Instead, I just wanted to check on you. A weak one. He knew it. She knew he knew it. James ran a hand through his hair, stepping aside. Come in. He shouldn't have said that. They both knew it. But he did. And that was enough. The door closed behind her with a soft click. Too soft. Too final. The air inside felt heavier than usual. Like the room itself was holding its breath. Anna stood near the couch, unsure what to do with her hands, her thoughts, her everything. James stayed near the door for a moment. Like he was still deciding. Then he walked toward her. So. Measured. Dangerous. You're making this harder, he said quietly. Anna's heart stuttered. I'm not doing anything. He let out a short, humorless laugh. That's the problem. He stopped just a step away from her. Too close. Way too close. Her breath hitched. His gaze dropped to her lips. Then, just like last night. Only this time. He didn't look away immediately. Say something, she whispered. Because the silence was unbearable. Because she was seconds away from doing something reckless. Because she wanted him to do something reckless. James exhaled slowly. You need to stay away from me. The words hit her like a slap. But his voice betrayed him. It wasn't firm. It wasn't certain. It sounded like a man trying to convince himself. Anna tilted her head slightly, her eyes searching his. Do you want me to? Silence. His jaw tightened. He didn't answer. That was answer enough. Her voice softened. Because I can leave right now, James. Boss. If that's what you really want. Seconds passed. Love? Painful. Very. Then? No. It slipped out of him. Quiet. Bro. Honest. Anna's heart slammed against her ribs. And that was it. That was the moment everything broke. He stepped closer. Closing the distance completely. Her back instinctively hit the edge of the couch. Nowhere to go. Not that she wanted to. Anna's voice dropped, almost a warning. But there was no stopping now. Not for him. Not for her. Then don't tell me to leave, she whispered. And that was the last thread of control snapping. His hand came up, brushing against her cheek. Gentle. Careful. Like she was something fragile. But his eyes were anything but gentle. They were filled with restraint that was seconds away from shattering. Do you have any idea what you're doing to me? He murmured. Her breath trembled. Maybe. A tiny pause. You should show me. That was it. No more restraint. No more distance. No more pretending. James pulled her in. And this time, he didn't stop. The moment his lips touched hers, it wasn't gentle. It wasn't hesitant. It was control. For exactly half a second. Then it snapped. Anna's breath hitched sharply as his hand slid to the back of her neck, pulling her closer, firm, possessive, leaving no space between them. Like he had decided. No more pretending. No more restraint. Her fingers clutched his shirt, bunching the fabric in her fists. Not pushing him away. Never that. Holding on. As if letting go would mean losing something she didn't fully understand yet. James kissed her like a man who had run out of patience. Weeks of quiet tension. Stolen glances. Unfinished conversations. All crashing into this one moment. His grip tightened just slightly. Not enough to hurt. Just enough to make her feel it. Feel him. Feel the control he was barely holding onto. Anna let out a soft, shaky breath against his lips. And that sound alone. That tiny, helpless reaction. Something in him shifted. Darkened. Deepened. His pace slow. Deliberate now. Intentional. Like he was savoring her. Learning exactly how she reacted and pushing just enough to make her react again. Her back hit the wall behind her. Not hard. But enough to trap her there. Enough to make her realize she wasn't the one in control anymore. Her pulse was racing. Her thoughts scattered. And yet, her body leaned into him. Like it belonged there. James, she whispered against his lips. A warning. Of Lee? Or maybe permission. Even she didn't know. He paused. Barely. Just enough to look at her. His forehead resting against hers. His breath, warm uneven, brushing against her skin. You have no idea what you do to me, he murmured, his voice low, rough, like it had been dragged out of him. Her stomach dropped. In the best, most dangerous way. You could stop, she whispered back. But her hands didn't move. Didn't push him away. They stayed exactly where they were. Holding him closer. His jaw tightened slightly. A quiet, internal battle. Gone in seconds. Say it, he said softly. Anna blinked. What? Say you want me to stop. His voice was steady. But his eyes were anything but silence. Dewey. Charged. She didn't say it. And that was all it took. He was back on her instantly. Closer. Deeper. Like that single moment of silence had given him permission to lose control. Her breath broke into soft, uneven gasps as his hand slid from her neck down her arm, slowly, deliberately sending a trail of heat in its wake. Every touch felt intentional. Measured. Like he knew exactly what he was doing. And exactly how it affected her. Still want me to stop, he murmured against her ear. Anna's head tilted back slightly, her eyes closing for just a second. 1 second too long. No, she whispered. Barely audible. But he heard it. Felt it. And something in him snapped completely. He pulled back just enough to look at her again. Really look at her. Flushed cheeks. Shaky breath. Eyes that were no longer confused. Just burning. This is a mistake, he said quietly. Then why does it feel like the right one? Anna shot back, her voice softer but stronger than before. That did it. His hand came up again, gripping her jaw just enough to tilt her face toward him. Not rough. Not gentle either. Just enough to make her still. To make her look at him. Only him. You're going to be the reason I lose everything, he said. Anna didn't flinch. Didn't look away. Then maybe you were already losing it, she whispered. Silence. 1 heartbeat. 2. Then. He kissed her again. Harder this time. Like he had nothing left to hold back. Like consequences didn't exist. Like tomorrow didn't matter. And for a moment, it didn't. Time blurred. Breaths tangled. Every second stretching and collapsing all at once. Until reality finally pushed its way back in. Go. Unforgiving. James pulled away suddenly this time. stepping back, running a hand through his hair like he was trying to physically shake himself out of it. Anna stayed against the wall for a second longer, breathing, feeling everything, trying to come back to herself. "This can't happen again," he said, not looking at her. But his voice, still thick, still affected, still not convincing. Anna pushed herself off the wall slowly, walking toward him. Not too close. Just enough. "Do you actually believe that?" she asked quietly. He didn't answer. Didn't even try. She let out a soft breath, almost a laugh, shaking her head slightly. "Yeah," she said, "I didn't think so. This time." She stepped back, creating distance, taking control of the ending. "Good night, James." And then she walked out, leaving behind silence, and a man who had just crossed a line he couldn't uncross. Because this wasn't just attraction anymore. It wasn't just tension. It was something far more dangerous. Something neither of them was ready for. The night didn't end when Anna walked out. It followed her, clung to her, lived in every breath she took on the way home. Her fingers still tingled. Her lips still burned. And no matter how many times she told herself to calm down, her heart refused to listen. Later that night, she lay on her bed, staring at the ceiling, wide awake. Every moment replayed. The way he touched her. The way he looked at her. Like she wasn't just a mistake. Like she was something he wanted even if he shouldn't. Anna turned onto her side, burying her face into the pillow with a frustrated groan. "This is bad," she whispered to herself. But even then, there was a small smile she couldn't hide. Because it didn't feel bad. Not really. It felt dangerous. Addictive. And she already wanted more. Across the street. Inside a house that was no longer just a house. James wasn't sleeping either. He stood in front of one of the glowing monitors in his basement. Jaw tight. Eyes unfocused. Not really seeing the data in front of him. He was seeing her. The way she didn't say stop. The way she stayed. The way she looked at him like she understood exactly what she was doing to him. He exhaled slowly, dragging a hand down his face. "This is a problem," he muttered. But it wasn't just a problem. It was a weakness. And weaknesses got people killed. His screen flickered slightly. A soft beat breaking through his thoughts. Incoming signal. Encrypted. Unexpected. James straightened instantly. The shift was immediate. From man to operative. He moved to the console, fingers flying across the keyboard. Decoding. Tracing. Analyzing. And then the message appeared. "You broke protocol." His expression hardened. Focused. "We know about the girl." Everything inside him went still. Slowly. Very slowly. His eyes lifted toward the camera feed on the corner of the screen. Anna's house. Her window. Very quiet. Unprotected. His jaw clenched. Very. "Damn it," he whispered. This wasn't supposed to happen. She wasn't supposed to matter. But she did. And now, that had consequences. The next morning, the air felt different. Heavier. Like something invisible had shifted overnight. Anna stepped outside, locking her door behind her. Trying to act normal. Trying to feel normal. She barely made it down the steps before she felt it. That feeling. Being watched. Her steps slowed slightly. Her eyes scanning the street casually. Too casually. Nothing looked out of place. Same quiet neighborhood. Same parked cars. Same stillness. But something wasn't right. "Don't panic," she murmured under her breath. And then she saw him. James. Standing by his car. Already watching her. Relief hit first. Sure. Instant. Followed by something else. Something heavier. Because the look on his face was not the same as last night. He walked toward her quickly. Too quickly. Get inside, he said under his breath. Anna blinked, caught off guard. What? Now, Anna, he added, more firmly this time. No teasing. No tension. No warmth. Just urgency. Her heart skipped. What's going on? His eyes scanned the street again. Sure. They're different. You're not safe out here. That sentence landed hard. Anna's breath caught. Because of you? She asked quietly. He looked at her. Really looked at her. And for a split second, there it was again. That conflict. That pull. Because of them, he corrected. And just like that, everything changed. Before she could ask another question, a black car turned slowly onto their street. Too slow. Too deliberate. James noticed instantly. His body tensing. Every instinct screaming. Inside. Now, he said, grabbing her wrist. This time. She didn't argue. Because whatever this was, it was real. And it was coming for them. The front door slammed shut behind them. Anna's back hit the wood as James locked it in one swift motion. Deadbolt. Shane. Another hidden lock she hadn't even noticed before. His movements were fast. Precise. Control. But there was tension in them. A sharp edge she hadn't seen this clearly before. What the hell is going on? Anna demanded, her voice low but shaking. James didn't answer immediately. He moved toward the window, just barely pulling the curtain aside. Watching. Dreading. Calculating. That black car. Still there. Bird. Engine running. His jaw tightened. They found you faster than I expected, he muttered. Anna froze. Found me, she repeated. That landed differently. Not him. Who? He turned to face her. And for the first time, there were no masks. No neighbor. No soft edges. Just him. The man behind everything. You were never supposed to be part of this, he said quietly. Anna let out a breath that almost sounded like a laugh. Yeah, I figured that out when you tied me up in your basement. His gaze flickered. Just for a second. Regret. Then gone. I need you to listen to me carefully, he said, stepping closer. Her heart picked up again. Not fear this time. Not completely. Something else. Something she didn't want to name. They know you're connected to me, he continued. That makes you leverage. Anna crossed her arms, trying to steady herself. Leverage for what? For control, he said. For extraction. For making me do exactly what they want. Silence filled the room. Billy. Resting. And if you don't? She asked softly. His eyes darkened. They don't keep you alive long enough for it to matter. That hit her. Anna swallowed. Her mind racing. Trying to catch up. Trying not to panic. Okay, she whispered, more to herself than to him. Okay, so what do we do? That question. It shifted something. Because she didn't say leave me alone. She didn't say I'm done. She said we. James noticed. Of course he did. His gaze softened just slightly. Barely there. But real. We get you out, he said. Somewhere they can't track. Anna shook her head instantly. No. He frowned. That's not a suggestion. I know, she said, stepping closer. But I'm not running. That surprised him. More than it should have. They're already watching me, right? She continued. Running just makes me easier to isolate. James studied her. Really studied her. She wasn't panicking. Not breaking. Not falling apart. She was thinking. You don't understand what you're up against, he said quietly. Then explain it to me, she shot back. Silence. Then. A sharp noise outside. Corridor. Both of them froze. James moved instantly. Grabbing her wrist. Pulling her away from the front room. Downstairs, he said. No, she started. Anna, he cut in, his voice low and firm. No. This time. She didn't argue. The basement door opened. That same dim staircase. That same low light. But now, it didn't feel like a prison. It felt like the only safe place left. They moved quickly, descending into the hidden space below. Screens already flickering to life as James activated the system. Camera feeds. Thermal scans. Movement tracking. Anna's eyes widened. Jesus. Stay behind me, he said. Footsteps echoed faintly from above. So measured. Not hiding. Whoever it was, they weren't afraid of being heard. Anna's breath quickened, her fingers instinctively reaching for his arm. Gripping it. He didn't shake her off. Didn't move away. If anything, he leaned slightly into it. 3 of them, he murmured, watching the screen. Maybe 4. Her grip tightened. Can you handle that? A small pause. Then, that same dangerous calm. I don't have a choice. The footsteps above grew louder. Closer. A door creaked open. Anna's heart was pounding so loud she was sure they could hear it. James reached back without looking, his hand finding hers. Squeezing one's. Firm. Rounding. I've got you, he said quietly. And somehow, that felt more dangerous than everything else. Because she believed him. The first sound wasn't loud. Just a soft click. Then, wood cracking. Anna's breath caught in her throat as the noise echoed through the ceiling above them. Someone was forcing their way in. James didn't move for a second. Watching. Listening. Calculating. Then everything about him shifted. Again. The hesitation from last night. Duh. The man standing in front of her now was built for this. Stay behind the pillar, he said quietly, guiding her back. Anna nodded quickly, her fingers reluctantly slipping from his. He moved to one of the panels. Pressed something hidden. A compartment slid open. Weapons. Clean. Precise. Daily. Anna stared. Of course you have that, she whispered under her breath. James almost smirked. Almost. He picked up a handgun. Checked it in one fluid motion. Upstairs. Footsteps spread out. Heavy boots. Searching. They're splitting, he murmured. Anna's stomach dropped. That's bad, right? Yes. No hesitation. No sugarcoating. Another sound. Closer now. The basement door. A slow creak. Light spilled down the stairs. Long shadows stretching across the walls. Anna's pulse spiked. James stepped forward slightly, positioning himself between her and the stairs. Protective. Instinctive. A figure appeared at the top. Dark silhouette. Gun raised. Silence. Then, everything exploded. A suppressed shot cracked through the air. Sure. Controlled. The man at the top of the stairs dropped instantly. Anna flinched, her hand flying to her mouth. Her eyes snapped to James. He didn't look shaken. Didn't look proud. Didn't look anything. Just focused. Stay down, he said. More footsteps above. Faster now. Alerted. They know we're here, Anna whispered. They already did, he replied. Another shadow moved at the doorway. James fired again. Precise. Efficient. The second body fell. Anna's breathing turned uneven. This wasn't a movie. This wasn't distant. This was real. And he was doing this like it was nothing. A third set of footsteps. Closer. Rushing. James moved fast this time, grabbing Anna's wrist, pulling her with him behind a reinforced wall as another shot rang out. Too close. Blaster cracked. Dust filled the air. Anna gasped, instinctively pressing against him. His arm wrapped around her instantly, pulling her tighter, shielding her. Stay with me, he said lowly. She nodded against his chest, barely holding it together. The gunfire stopped. Silence returned. But it wasn't safe. Not yet. James didn't move. Listening. Waiting. One breath. Two. Three. Nothing. Slowly. Carefully. He stepped out. Gun raised. Eyes scanning. Anna stayed close. Too close. But she didn't care anymore. The basement was still. Then, a faint groan. Both of them turned. One of the men. Still alive. He was reaching. Struggling. Trying to lift his weapon. James reacted instantly. Stepping forward. Gun aimed. Ready to finish it. Wait, Anna's voice broke through. He paused. Just for a second. She stepped closer. Careful. Shaggy. Don't, she whispered. James looked at her. Really looked at her. This was the moment. Two different worlds. Colliding. If I don't, he said quietly, he comes back for you. Anna's eyes flickered. They're understanding. But still. She shook her head. Then tie him up, she said. There are other ways. Silence. Billy. James exhaled slowly. A long, controlled breath. Then he lowered the gun. Just slightly. Fine, he muttered. Anna didn't realize she had been holding her breath. Until it rushed out of her. Something shifted again. Not just survival. Not just fear. This. James secured the man quickly. Efficiently. Still controlled. But different. Less cold. When he was done, he stood there for a second. Then turned back to her. You shouldn't have done that, he said. Anna crossed her arms slightly. Still shaken. But stay. Maybe, she replied. But I'm not you. A bee? Something in his expression softened. Yeah, he said quietly. I noticed. Their eyes held. Longer than they should have. Even now. Even here. The tension didn't disappear. If anything, it burned hotter. Because now, it wasn't just desire. It was survival. Fast. And something far more dangerous. Outside. Sirens began to rise in the distance. Time was running out. We have to move, James said. Anna nodded. Together, she asked softly. He didn't hesitate this time. Yeah, he said. Together. The sirens grew louder. Not close yet. But getting there. James moved fast. Grabbing a duffel from a hidden compartment. Throwing in essentials. Weapons. There. Documents. Anna stood frozen for a second. Trying to process everything. Her house. Her normal life. Done. Just like that. Anna, he called, sharp but controlled. She snapped out of it. Moved toward him. What do I do? She asked. Stay close, he said. Don't question me once we step out. She nodded. No hesitation now. Because whatever this was, she was already in it. The back exit opened silently. Cool air rushed in. The world outside looked the same. Quiet. Still. But it felt different. Like danger was hiding in every shadow. James stepped out first. Standing. Listening. Then. He reached back. Anna took his hand. No thinking. No hesitation. Their fingers locked. And for a split second, everything slowed. This felt like something else entirely. Not just survival. Something far more intimate. Stay with me, he murmured. I'm not going anywhere, she replied softly. They moved. Away. Silent. Cutting through backyards. Fences. Dark corners of the neighborhood she thought she knew. At one point, James pulled her down suddenly. Her back hit his chest. His hand covering her mouth instinctively. A car passed. Slow. Searching. Anna's heart slammed against her ribs. His body was pressed fully against hers now. Solid. Warm. Too close. She could feel his breath against her neck. Steady. Control. While hers was anything but. Don't move, he whispered against her ear. Her eyes fluttered shut for a second. Not from fear. From the way it felt. Wrong timing. Wrong situation. But her body didn't care. The car passed. His hand slowly lowered. But he didn't step away immediately. Neither did she. A dangerous silence settled between them. You're shaking, he said quietly. I almost got shot, she whispered back. A buzz? Not from that, he said. Her breath hitched. She turned slightly. Just enough to look at him. Too close. Way too close. Then what? She asked softly. His gaze dropped. Bravely. To her lips. Then back up. You tell me, he replied. The tension snapped higher. Electric. Unavoidable. Anna swallowed. This is insane, she whispered. Yeah, he agreed. But neither of them moved away. Not until. Another distant engine sound broke the moment. Reality crashing back in. Come on, he said, stepping back reluctantly. They kept moving. Faster now. Deeper into unfamiliar streets. Minutes later. They reached an old, isolated structure. A safe house. James unlocked it quickly. Pushed the door open. Inside, he said. Anna stepped in. Looking around. There. Minimal. But secure. The door shut behind them. Locks clicking into place. Silence. For the first time since everything started. No footsteps. No threats. No immediate danger. Just them. Alone. The shift was instant. The adrenaline didn't fade. It twisted. Turned into something heavier. Utter. Anna leaned back against the wall. Exhaling slowly. We're really doing this, she murmured. James stood a few feet away. Watching her. Too intently. You still have time to walk away, he said quietly. She let out a small, breathless laugh. Walk where? She asked. He didn't answer. Because there wasn't one. A beat passed. Then another. The distance between them suddenly felt too small. Or maybe not small enough. Anna pushed herself off the wall. Stepping closer. Slowly. You said they're after me because of you, she said softly. His jaw tightened. Yes. Then I stay, she replied. A buzz. And if I don't want you to? He asked. She stepped even closer now. Close enough to feel his warmth again. That's not what you want, she said. His breath slowed. Deepen. You don't know what I want, he murmured. Her eyes held his. Steady. Certain? I think I do. Silence. Really? His hand lifted. Slowly. Like he was giving her time to stop him. She didn't. His fingers brushed her cheek. But it sent heat rushing through her instantly. You're dangerous, he said quietly. Anna's lips parted slightly. So are you. That was it. The last line. The last barrier. He pulled her in. This time. There was nothing restrained about it. The kiss hit harder. Deeper. Like everything they had been holding back finally broke loose. Her hands gripped his shirt. Pulling him closer. His arm wrapped around her waist. Firm. Possessive. Not gentle. Not hesitant. Real. Raw. And completely inevitable. When they finally broke apart. Neither of them stepped away. Foreheads almost touching. Breaths uneven. This doesn't change anything, he said, voice low. It changes everything, she whispered back. And they both knew. She was right. The silence didn't last. It never did with them. James stepped back first. Not far. Just enough to think. Or try to. Anna watched him. her chest still rising too fast, her lips still warm from him. "That was a mistake," he said quietly. The words landed. "Sure." But his eyes didn't agree. Anna tilted her head slightly. "If you believe that, you're a really bad liar," she said. A flicker of something crossed his face. Frustration. Desire. Conflict. "You don't understand what this is," he said, running a hand through his hair. "Then explain it," she shot back. His jaw tightened. "This doesn't end well," he said. "For you?" Anna stepped closer again. "So intentional. You don't get to decide that for me," she said softly. The air shifted. Again. Because she wasn't scared anymore. Not of him. And that was dangerous. James exhaled slowly, like he was trying to hold something back. "You should hate me," he muttered. Anna let out a quiet breath. "I tried," she said. That made him look at her. Really low. "But you didn't," he said. She shook her head. "No. Obey?" "What?" he asked. That question wasn't tactical. Wasn't calculated. It was real. Anna's gaze softened. Just slightly. "Because every time I think I figured you out," she said slowly, "you do something that proves me wrong." Silence. "You could have killed him," she continued. "But you didn't." His eyes darkened. "You asked me not to." "And you listened," she replied. That hit deeper than anything else. Because men like him didn't listen, didn't hesitate, didn't change. But he had. For her. A sharp knock suddenly echoed through the safe house. Both of them froze. Once. Twice. Not loud. Not aggressive. Measured. James moved instantly. Gun already in his hand. Anna's heart dropped again. "Already," she whispered. "No," he murmured. "Not them." "How do you know?" He didn't answer. Another knock. Then a voice, muffled through the door. "James." Anna's stomach tightened. That wasn't random. That was someone who knew him. James's expression went cold. "Stay back," he said quietly. But Anna didn't move far. She couldn't. The door unlocked slowly. Opened just enough. A man stepped in. Well dressed. "Tom?" "Dear calm." His eyes flicked to Anna immediately. Assessing. Calculating. Then back to James. "You complicated things," the man said smoothly. Anna felt it instantly. Authority. Not fear. Control. "Leave," James said flatly. The man smiled faintly. "That's not how this works," he replied. Silence stretched. Then the truth started to surface. "She wasn't supposed to matter," the man continued. Anna's chest tightened. "But she does," he added, glancing at her again. James stepped forward slightly, blocking that gaze. "That's exactly why you need to leave," James said. The man sighed. "You broke protocol," he said. "You exposed yourself. You eliminated assets without clearance." Each word colder than the last. Anna's breath slowed. This wasn't just enemies anymore. This was his own side. They were coming for her, James snapped. "And you let them," the man replied. That landed. A beat of silence. Then everything shifted again. "Walk away," the man said calmly. "Hand her over." Anna's heart stopped. "And you get your life back." Silence. Heavy. Pushing. Anna slowly looked at James. This was the choice. The horror. The mission. Or the mistake. Or maybe something more. James didn't look at her immediately. His jaw clenched. His grip tightened on the gun. Then, finally, his eyes met hers. And something unspoken passed between them. Something clear. "Sir?" He turned back to the man. "No." Just one word. But it burned. The man's expression didn't change. "Think carefully," he said. "I did," James replied. A pause. Then the man reached inside his jacket. Everything happened at once. James moved faster than Anna could process. A shot rang out. Then another. The man staggered back, shock flashing across his face. Then silence. He collapsed. Anna stood frozen, her ears ringing, her heart racing. James lowered the gun slowly, breathing controlled. But something had changed. Irreversibly. "They won't stop now," he said quietly. Anna swallowed. "I figured," she whispered. A long silence followed. Then she stepped toward him. Not afraid. Not anymore. "What now?" she asked. He looked at her. Really looked. And for the first time, there was no hesitation. "We run," he said. A small pause. Then his hand reached for hers again. "And we don't look back." Anna laced her fingers with his. "Therm. Saren." "Good," she said softly. "Obey." Then a small, dangerous smile. "Because I don't plan on letting you go." Something in his expression shifted. "Power. Possessive. Real." "Not a chance," he murmured. Outside, the world was already closing in. Something else had just begun.